Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is for December, what is it, 19th? Ooh, goodness gracious.
Yep.
Happy to have you guys in here. And we're, of course, going to be doing our last show here for today for a little bit. And although I had said I was not going to do anything on Christmas, I had a bunch of people saying, just to do something on Christmas. So maybe I could do a little Hello, Merry Christmas show, just to show my head, I guess. But we are going to be taking a few days off. But today is a good day unto itself. We have some great actual comic book news here we're going to cover today. And of course, we're also doing the Drawn and Quartered Ultimate Edition with Six Gun Gorilla. That should be interesting. I don't know much about that one, so I'm going to be learning. Do you know anything about that, Denali?
It has a gorilla and apparently six guns.
Oh, sweet. But is it six guns or six guns? Meaning, the
Uh,
six shot revolver, the Colt 45.
I'm thinking it's a Colt 45.
Probably, yeah. It's like didn't Mike have a book called Six Gun Samurai? Same thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, cool. But anyway, looking forward to that. Definitely happy to have you guys in here. Do keep in mind, as always, check out our links down below. Also, if you wouldn't mind hitting that share button and let your family and friends and extended community know what's going on, so they can come over here and join us live and have some fun. I mean, we are live streamers after all. And for the benefit of Denali, hit that sub button and like as well. We appreciate that. But how are you
yeah.
doing today, sir? Man, I got a beautiful day starting out here. How was your day?
Cold.
Cold.
Cold throughout. Yep. It felt like living in Alaska. Everything cloudy, cold at a stable 40 degrees and winds.
I
And
see.
yes, March Air Colt 45. We're definitely going to be drinking that tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Colt 45, of course. A lot of people actually say the gun that won the West, the gun that won the West. It's kind of funny for me. Of course, there's many guns that kind of got that epitaph, but actually, the gun that won West was a Winchester rifle. That's where that actual expression came from, and it wasn't until like the 20th century that that term was coined anyway. But yeah, no, the Colt was a great weapon. It still is. It's interesting for those of us who enjoy guns and come from a gun culture. As you get older, the antique guns become far more interesting, right? It's really amazing to me when you look because I do watch some of these things on YouTube, which YouTube's amazing for that kind of stuff. Watching these people restore old guns and that kind of stuff. It's amazing how well those old Colts hold up, man. I mean, they're 150 years old, some of them, right? But
I
they're
mean,
just beautiful
they use
condition.
steel.
Hmm?
They use steel, don't they? So,
Oh yeah, no,
they,
they're really well made, really well
yeah,
made. Well, there's plenty of other steel guns from that period that don't hold up as well, but it's
right.
just a beautiful gun, like the Winchester. The interesting thing about the Winchester products is when you see these restorers take them apart, it's how tight they are, meaning the level of machining and the level of fit that they put into each Winchester was very impressive. There's no wobble, even after 150 years or 130 years, there's no wobble at all. So of course yeah, it's pretty cool. But anyway, we're not here to talk about guns, but uh, it is an
Today
interesting
on
subject. Huh?
today on Fan Speak Comics News today, we're talking about guns. How do they make guns?
Yeah. Well,
We'll find out.
we could have a good long conversation about them. Actually, I know quite a bit about them, and I'm sure there's a couple of people in the chat that do as well. So we could put together a conversation one day. But anyway, let me come over here.
Yeah.
I see we got Roger Heller. We got our hello, sir. We got March Hare. Very nice to see you. And we have James in here as well. 40 below is 40 Fahrenheit is cold. Yeah, well, he's from Florida, dude. Uh,
Right. Remember, you live Florida long enough, your blood thins where 40
that's true.
feels cold.
It is true.
So,
Oh, March here says I'm hoping to get myself an M1 myself. Are you talking about the M1 Garand, or are you talking about a later M1? Because they did have like an update, and there's more than one actual version of those. But the M1 Garand are absolutely beautiful gun, actually. Nice rifle. Eric Boyd's in here. Hello, nice to see you. Nixie says I'm listening to Clownfish TV and decided to come over here because of the Winchester talk. Awesome. Well, Clownfish TV is pretty cool too. I like those guys. It's a nice husband wife family team. That's pretty cool. Canada. Yep, he understands cold. Well, actually, I'm from Rhode Island, and you think I wouldn't understand cold as much as you do, but we got that Arctic flow that comes down, and we get hit a lot harder than you would expect, more so than say just New York next door, because it's the ocean, current situation. But yeah, cold is. I kind of miss it, really. I miss those nice, crispy, chilly days. I don't get those here. I mean, I don't think we hardly ever actually see zero, meaning 32 degrees. So whatever. But let's come over here and let me start by beginning the show. Now we have some really interesting comic book news to get to. So you're ready, Denali?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. All right, let me do that, and then that,
Oh,
and then
and hello, Nick. He was listening to Clownfish TV and decided to come over because we were talking about guns.
that's right. That's right. That's right. But anyway,
Yeah.
here we go. Now, this is first one starting out here is from Somali. There's a couple of
Hmm.
Somali today. I don't know, one or maybe two. But of course, we once again a shout out to Somali. We appreciate you, dude. It's really cool your investment and all the cool information you put on the FanSpeak page. And of course, if any of you aren't a member of the FanSpeak page over on Facebook, just hit that link down below because it's a pretty cool community, man. But anyway, just go ahead and read it out, and we'll get through this article. But it looked
All
interesting,
right.
so I decided to put it on.
Yeah. Capcom renews Dino Crisis, Deathstalkers, and Power Stone trademarks,
All right.
which
Now,
is important.
well, I think it is. Now, of course, Darkstalkers is very famous, and of course, you see that right here in the front, right? Standing
Hmm.
on with I think her name is Morgan, and well, anyway, it's a popular fighting punch 'em up type of game. And the other ones I recognize, but I don't know how much I recognize. Let's see, we got Breath of Fire, Captain Commando, Cyberbots, Darkstalkers, Dino Crisis, Power Stone. I think I know Dino Crisis. I don't know about Power Stone though. Do you know that one?
Sounds familiar, but there's Dino Crisis right there.
Mm, mm. Yeah, no, it looked familiar. And they're also talking about a Resident Evil as well. But they've been exploring the idea of resurrecting its classic properties for a while. Well, they should. They should, because I don't know about you, but as far as I'm know, the only actual Capcom stuff I ever hear about is the Fighter versus Marvel or just straight up Street Fighter. So they've kind of not been doing a lot, right? As far as I know.
Yeah, a lot of times they've been remixing, remastering, redoing old properties
Uh,
of old games and updating it.
we've
I
seen a
think
lot of
the
that. Yeah.
the only one consistent that I can keep remembering is the Resident Evil games, which is kind of funny that they still call it Resident Evil instead of Biohazard, but it's not here or there. Um, and I guess the recent ones would be Devil May Cry 5, which won an award at the Games Award
Oh yeah, that's
last
right.
week.
That's right. There you go. There's another one. But I'm happy for this. This is cool. Bring them back, man. Give them a new look. Refresh them. We've been seeing a lot of that. But I'd like to even see some new stuff. It'd be cool. And the interesting thing about Biohazard, of course, that's the Japanese name of it, and Resident Evil being the Western name of it. But it doesn't actually it isn't really appropriate for the series anymore because the reason they called it Resident Evil in the beginning is because if you remember, it was in a house, in a mansion, right? And of
Yeah.
course, it's moved out of that, well past that now. But yeah, no, it is interesting that they have different names here or there. But we talked about that a little bit yesterday.
Mhm.
Back in the day, many things were renamed when they went outside of America. It's not as much these days. But this is cool news. I'm glad to hear it. They are doing a Resident Evil 3 remake, which is awesome. But I'm much more interested in this other stuff, actually. And I don't know what Power Stone is. Someone help me out with that. I should know that because I actually had
It's,
a Sega
it's
Dreamcast.
yeah, it's one. Wasn't it one of those fighter games. No,
I don't know. I
I
must
think it was
know
a
it.
fighter game.
Let me
Yeah,
check it. I'm checking it. I'm doing it.
onto the quest for Duck Go.
DuckDuckGo. Power Stone. Huh. Wow, no, I don't recognize this at all, dude. Nope. It is a fighter game, but I do not recognize this even a little.
Mm.
Oh well, that's all right. I recognize the other stuff, and more power to them. That's what I say. But cool news. Thank you very much, Somali. All right, let's move on. The next one here, I'm pretty sure is yours. So go ahead.
Yep, this is from the Hollywood Reporter. Village Roadshow is being the subject of a $523 million takeover bid. One of you shouldn't everybody should be familiar with Village Roadshow because it did a lot of popular movies back in the early
Mhm.
2000, even now. So it's very interesting that this private equity firm is trying to take over them, and I'm kind of hoping they're not to, because usually when these private equity firms buy out a production, they tend to hollow it out.
They do because it's just like AT&T seems to be starting up in Warner Brothers. Yeah. But it is kind of the way those big corporations deal with stuff sometimes. But Village Roadshow, of course, this is an Australian thing. But Village Roadshow has been around a lot, and of course, being here in Japan. Maybe I'm more aware of the name Village Roadshow than the average Westerner. I don't know. I don't know if that's true at all. Maybe that's not true. But Village Roadshow actually does promotions, and you'll see presented by Village Roadshow, and they'll actually promote the name Village Roadshow here. Of course it's all in Japanese, but I mean that doesn't matter. So I actually see it all the time, particularly on promotional banners. They use the name. When I was in America, I don't recall seeing Village Roadshow plastered anywhere, but here in Japan they do it quite a bit. So it's interesting. Another big takeover. We'll see what they have to do. Of course, I guess the big property is what, Thor, Aquaman,
Well,
Thor, Ragnarok pictures, and no, this is Hollywood
well,
stuff.
yeah.
They must have
So
done the releasing in Australia. I get it. Okay.
Well, no, they actually co-produced with Warner Brothers the Matrix series, the Sherlock Holmes series.
Oh wow.
That's with the Happy Feet series, the Ocean series, the Lego movies. Um,
Successful stuff, man. Very
yeah,
successful stuff.
let me let me run some other one. Exit Wounds, The Lake House, Duke of Hazards,
Ooh.
uh, Dark Shadows, Gangster Squad,
Yeah, no.
American Sniper.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was a big hit. That was a mega hit.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Another big
The
hit.
event. Let me see the Collateral Beauty, Fist Fights, King Arthur, Gran Torino.
Oh, that was
That's
a
with
good movie. King Arthur.
yeah,
They're talking about the guy from Sons of Anarchy. I'm pretty sure. And
right.
that is really unfortunate what happened to that movie. It just bombed. I mean, it was a true bomb, and it didn't. There's no need for it to be. It was a pretty solid movie, actually. I guess it was
And
just bad timing because it
yeah,
was pretty good.
and their recent co-production was The Joker. I made a
All
billion.
right, yeah, this is a
No,
good
yeah,
company. They do a lot of stuff, and of course,
yeah.
Dora the Explorer, which was a mega hit.
Mhm. Edge of Tomorrow.
Not, right? Edge of Tomorrow. Then
Yeah,
that's a really good movie. That might well be one of the best Tom Cruise movies in quite a while, actually. That was solid. And of course, it had Emily Blunt, really solid actress. I
yeah.
like her a lot. Boy, if they just made her Captain Marvel. If they just made her Captain Marvel. And
She should have been.
I know everyone's saying she's too old, but you know what? At the time they did the Captain Marvel thing, she didn't look any older than Brie Larson. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and now they're doing PR damage control for Brie Larson by trying to say, "Oh, look at her dress that's going viral," and all that on Jimmy Kimmel, which is kind of sad. But
Now,
anyways,
did I hear correctly? Did she have some kind of weird cameo in this recent Star Wars movie?
um, I don't believe so. I think they were trying to have her appear like Ahsoka Tano for the Star Wars stuff, but they're talking more about Kevin Feige
Yeah.
film instead
Well,
of this instead of one. But
because I saw a couple of headlines talking about her having a cameo in this current Star Wars movie. I don't know. Of course, I won't even watch the movie, but we do know Kevin Feige is going to make a Star Wars movie, which is cool. I mean, he deserves it. if he wants to make a Star Wars movie, let him make a Star Wars movie. And he's just absolutely in love with Brie Larson, so she'll show up, dude. She will be
Yeah,
in canon in Star Wars. So buckle up,
yeah.
Buttercup. That's coming. Ah, goodness. Yeah, this interesting news. It's a Village Roadshow is an important company, and we who knows what this Pacific Equity Partners will do to it. But it's certainly worth covering because there's quite a bit of comic people in there, comic book stories in there. So, all right, moving on. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, from the Hollywood Reporter again. 50 Cents set to animate superhero series at Quibi. And I'm
Okay,
not.
what's a
It's.
Queeby?
I think that's a new platform. Let me see if I can remember
I
what
don't know.
was
I'm going to check.
what.
I'm going to look
Oh
at it.
yeah, an upcoming American
Queeby.
short form mobile video platform by Jeff uh, Katzenberg.
Ooh. Okay.
So
Katzenberg. Okay.
yeah,
All right. Well, that's cool. Awesome, dude. Some superhero shorts. That sounds fun. And
yeah,
50 Cent is an interesting character. He's certainly a known figure in America. He's kind of gotten a little bit of flack for who he is. But
right.
I don't know. I never minded him so much.
I
He's just
I
kind of a street
think
guy.
I think the funniest, not so funny moment was that he basically was in front of the judge and told the judge that he was broke, and then later posted on Instagram him surrounded by loads of cash, and he had to go back in front of the same judge to explain, Mr. 50 Cents, why are you posting on your Instagram that you have all this cash when you said you're broke? And he said, oh, that was all play money. It was fake. Uh,
I
but
didn't
I
hear
think,
that. Well,
yeah,
he is an actual criminal. I know a
mhm,
lot of gangsta guys try to act like they're criminals and act tough, and they come from the suburbs somewhere. But this is an actual
yeah.
street guy. But I never had much problem with the 50 Cent, so I'm sure someone could argue with that for me. But
So,
they're making a thing. They're gonna make some superhero stuff. I'm all
yeah.
for it, unless
So
it's really bad.
right, and Quibi, which we're talking about right now, um, has it'll be here's an interesting tidbit. It was funded by 11 investors in all the major Hollywood studio, including Walt Disney Company, NBC Universal, Sony Picture, Warner Media, Liberty Global, Viacom, CBS,
Wow.
and the Alibaba Group. So, um, that's kind of interesting that you have all of Hollywood, helping support this platform.
Right.
So I think that's going to be the next step that they're going to go for with this platforming, where you take it as you go, watch anywhere. I mean, technically that's what the streaming doing, but I think this was a hotbed to test things for those
Maybe.
studios.
It does have Jamil Salim in there, which I
Hmm.
do believe he's jumped on my radar a couple times. I'm not sure if they were good or bad. Some of the chat will certainly tell me, and I'm sure they're screaming at me right now, which I'm going to go over and take a look in a second, guys. I do have to question the premise here. Trill League, it's called, centers on a team of black superheroes, okay, who in the era of social injustice and internet trolls, all right, are tasked with saving the world from monsters, supervillains, and haters of all kind. All right, it sounds super woke. The series will also satirize American society via its remixed rendition of favorite superheroes. Okay, so that could either be really funny if they take a proper satirical look at it, or it could be just absolutely infuriating. It depends. I'm not sure. See, I know someone like Jamie Foxx. He's an actual bigot. He hates white people. I know that. But is 50 Cent an actual bigot, or is he just a moneymaker?
I think he's just a money maker.
Yeah. See, I never really got
But
that real bigotry out of him.
but it doesn't mean the creative forces, which is the writers and director,
Yeah.
which will handle most of that part. I think he won't care as long as it's making money.
Probably,
Money,
and
money,
that's
money, money.
he's honest about it. But the only thing that here really catches me off a little bit, and of course it doesn't matter because I probably won't pay any attention to it at all. But is this thing right here? Um, uh, in an era of social injustice, I don't know if we've ever had an era of more social justice and fair equality at any time in human history. Actually, so I don't know what they're talking about that, but whatever. Interesting. 50 Cent getting into comic book stuff, man. All right,
Hmm.
all right. Let me now, before you jump into this right here, let me look over the chat and see what they're chatting about over here.
Sure,
Let me
sure.
see here. All right, doing about this. Roger says, Chester, are you going to review the trailer for Ip Man the Final? We could. I like the Ip Man series. That what's his name? Donnie Yen, I think that's his name. He's excellent. The Pirate Bay Quick Link. That's right, dude. It is Model 3. It is. To be fair, though, I don't really use it hardly anymore. And I'm not saying that just off of hand because I've used it many times in the past. Maybe, to quantify, maybe. But not much anymore, dude. There's so many good streaming services. You just don't need it anymore, really. And I think those kind of things like Pirate Bay and stuff, they had a few years where they were just the right thing, but I don't know if their window is really very viable anymore, or at least for a person like me. But I'm a mundane in many ways. But it's for me, because I never cared for the cam trailers, or not the cam trailer, the cam movies, because what's the point? So for me, mostly, I wait for the thing to come out on Blu-ray and then I check it out and see if I'm going to buy it because I got a big movie collection. So that's kind of what I use it for mainly, but not as much anymore. You don't need it. It just it's kind of unnecessary. Now, I suppose if you're doing software and other things like that, I guess it might have value. But it's for me, it's mainly movies or specifically mainly what I use it for was TV shows, if I used it at all, just to to quantify. Because over here in Japan, I couldn't get any kind of Western TV shows for a long time, so that was the only place I could actually see what was going on was at something like a torrent site. But these days, now you have this thing called a VPN, which I most certainly use. ExpressVPN. They don't pay me any money though, but it works pretty well for me. And that allows me to do all that stuff anyway. So I don't even really need it anymore. I don't know. Uh,
So you spend 5 minutes justifying why you're using Pirate Bay. Okay, gotcha.
yeah, well, no. In a way, I guess. But like I said, I just really don't need it anymore, hardly, dude.
Yeah.
It's kind of gone away. It's necessity for me. The VPN really killed those torrent sites, as far as I'm concerned, because it made it because we were many of us in the world were complaining, especially those of us living outside of America and stuff, because we couldn't get access to anything. They just lock us down. You guys don't understand the frustration, man. And we just couldn't get nothing. But now you have a VPN, it just doesn't matter anymore. It solves all those problems. It's super
Right.
awesome. Let me see here. March Hare says, never heard of it. Okay. Brie Larson fashion show. Time for another Brie Larson fashion show. Yeah, I don't know why they do that with her. She's not particularly attractive, lady. I would much
Again,
rather
damage
watch Ezra
control.
Miller, really.
It's damage control basically. They're trying to make her seem likable. That's what it all is because they signed a 7 deal contract with her. So you know
That's
they're
true.
trying to.
Yeah. Find a way they
So
can
they're
squeeze her in, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Now, Eric Boy says Chester's rapper name is 23 Cent. Excuse me, sir. I'm Buck 50. That's my rapper name, Buck 50. I'm going to stick with it. He says, just a thought about using the rapper name of Little Peen. A March here sounds like hot garbage. Yeah, probably, dude. Greetings all. Hey, doing Era. Ara, sorry about that. Yes, you are right about Jamie Foxx. I dislike him as well. And it's too bad. He's a really good actor, but he's just a bigot, man. He's caught up in that, and he's been that way for a while. But I think when the whole Black Lives Matter thing kicked off, it really kind of just twisted him. But yeah, he's full on bigot, dude. Hawk Warrior, hey, dude, haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. Everyone's saying hi to him. Nice. He says, what's going on with Red Sonja? We're going to get into it here in a second. March Hare says, I think it will bomb and will be bigots for not supporting it. I'm sure. That's guaranteed, dude. I thought Red Sonja was a Marvel property. Well, we're going to get into that too. What's going on here? Da da da. I would rather watch Ezra Miller. Yeah, Chester 2019. Wouldn't you rather watch Ezra acting like an absolute insane madcap? I mean the DC character, rather than scowling, angry, pointing finger at you, Brie Larson. I mean, come on. March Hare says, I think Denali is right. They're trying to convince people she's likable. Yeah, well, they're not doing well with it. They're really not. All right, caught up, dude. Back over here. So let's get into this, dude.
All right, so just to answer some questions, Marvel does not have the right to Red Sonja. Red Sonja is a different property
Hmm.
that's separate from Conan the Barbarian. A lot of people assume that Red Sonja is part of Conan because they remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger with Bridget Nelson, Red Sonja, and they
Hmm.
kind of assume they're the same property, which it isn't. It's basically Red Sonja. It's a completely different universe
Yeah.
than Conan the Barbarian, but written by the same
Yeah,
person,
Howard. Yeah.
uh,
True, true, true.
Howard. So to answer that question, so yeah, Marvel didn't get the rights for that. That's why, excuse me, in the crossover, which we talked about with the Serpent God and Moonlight, that's why they had I forgot
The
her
other
name.
character, where we can never remember that character's name, but it's another
Yeah,
Howard character, which they do have the
Howard
rights
character.
to.
Yeah, they do have the right to, which is the proto version of Red Sonja.
That's right. Yeah, but it's
So
set in the Solomon Kane era.
correct.
Yeah.
But for this storyline, basically they're kind of doing similar to the storyline with Conan, where Conan gets killed. In this case, it's Red Sonja getting killed by this young boy.
Yeah.
So, and we're
Whatever.
going to see that story. And we'll see whether it's good or not. I always
Well,
like Red Sonja.
well,
Dynamite's
Red
is
Sonja's gotten woke, dude. I mean, if you haven't
yeah.
been paying attention, they woke her
Well,
all out, dude. It's not
oh,
cool. They
ugh,
covered her up, and she says feminist things now. It's not cool. And I don't know what you guys think, but this art sitting in front of me sucks balls, dude. I can't stand this art for this character anyway. I mean, if we were doing some, weird demented Charlie Brown, fine, but no, dude. This is not Red Sonja. But look what they've done to her, though. I mean, and this might be the boy actually, but
that's the boy.
yeah, but it's just
Yeah.
this is not. I don't want this at all. This is screw this, and I don't really have much nice to say about it, dude, because I do not like what they are doing with Red Sonja at all. That's not a bad pick though.
Mm-mm.
It's okay. But it's too cartoony and it's too washed out. It's not Red Sonja anymore. I mean, because she was brutal and harsh, right? I mean, she's actually a strong female image, but yet they can't leave well enough alone, you know.
Gotta
So I
give
don't know.
them their own spit shine, so to speak.
Yeah, I suppose. But I'm not really interested in this at all. Maybe you guys are. If you are, go check it out. But yay, they got to kill Red Sonja. Maybe she'll stay dead. Ooh, this next news is pretty cool.
Yep, this is from Bleeding Cool, and they're talking about the titles that's going to be for the free comic book days. So I thought, so this is comics news today. We might as well look and check out what titles they're doing for that day, which
Absolutely.
always enjoy.
Let's dig into
Yeah,
it. And there's 47 comics available for Free Comic Day, which is pretty awesome, dude.
right.
Of course, we do notice the first thing listed is Asterix, and we talked about that they're trying to
Yeah,
bring Asterix into the States and revive some kind of interest for it. I love Asterix when I was a kid. It's a really
right.
good.
And
Is that French or I think it was
I
French?
believe so.
Yeah,
Yes, I believe so. And don't forget to thank your local retailers because they pay upfront for all these comic books as well. So when you have a chance and you take one of these, say thank you to your retailer
fair point.
because it
Yeah.
does they
So,
pay all the
so
costs.
we have 37 silver titles and 10 gold titles, which I don't know exactly what that means, but I guess I could figure it out. We got Dark
Right.
Arc Instinct. I don't know anything about this one. This dude is kind of almost missing a nose. Maybe he's a bugbear like me. Kind of looks like a bugbear. We have Hillbilly, the Lizard of Rusty Creek Cave. I don't know anything about this one either. Neither one of them. I never heard them before. You?
No, but these are The first one's from Aftershock Comics.
Mhm. That might be
We'll
good
see.
though. Because that's a good thing about Free Comic Day. It allows you to see new things to see if you're interested in it. The Resistance. Is this the based on the TV video game thing?
No, no, that's the new comic that uh what's those shoot. It's right there the names like
Yeah, I see the
I'm
names.
just
Yeah,
losing. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the we talked about it where they were forming a new company and this
yeah.
is the project they're working on.
This is Mike
And
Deodato. Yeah,
yeah,
Upshot
Diodo.
AWA. But yeah, all right, cool. We got that one. We got Lumberjanes, which this is definitely a woke comic, but it seems to be one
Yeah,
that is self-aware, and
yeah.
people really enjoy it. It's quite a popular thing, actually, about a group of
Hmm.
lesbians, I guess.
Yep.
But it is popular. It sells well. Um, we got the
Mechanica.
Mechanica.
Yep.
Okay, a bit of
Lady
steampunk.
Mechanica. Yeah.
We've actually seen some pretty good steampunk stuff over the past, I'd say, 5, 6 years. There are a few books that are interesting, so this might be worth checking out, man. And this is from Joe Benitez's Joe Benitez. I
Yeah.
don't know who that is. Someone will correct me, I'm sure. We have Canuck, huh? Canuck Beyond
Connect
and
Beyond
Captain
and
Battle. Is
Captain
this from
Battle.
John Dillard? What the hell is this? All right, this is from
Chapter
Chapter House.
House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Horse. All right, we got Stranger Thing next.
That's funny.
DC Unnamed Top
Placeholder. Yeah.
Secret. All right, fine. Little Lula. What? I've not heard of that in forever, dude.
Wow, they're bringing that in.
That's interesting.
John Stanley.
Yeah, she's a nasty little thing, but that's the joke, right? We
Yeah.
got Manhwa contemporary Korean comics. Yeah, no, 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 definitely no. Ooh, ooh,
Issue 1 of The Boys.
sweet, great series, great series. Let's see here, Monster Showcase, the Black Sand Beach. I don't know anything about this stuff. Blastosaurus. This is from who's this from? Golden Apple Books. I've heard of them before, I think.
Mm,
All right. Donald Duck for the kiddies, sweet. The Inkel, are they trying to say the Incel? Is that what they're doing? Is that doing humanoids? Oh no, no, we talked about this a little bit, didn't we?
yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that art looks great, dude. Look at that, very very nice. Usagi Yojimbo, buy go get that. That's if you anytime you see Usagi free, you must get Usagi. That's all there is to it. Invincible, wow, dude, that's a nice little get. Invincible #1, that's a good series too, dude.
Yeah.
Mean Girls, no, but I guess you want to. I guess it's a certain market. I have no idea what the hell that is. Spider-Man versus Venom. All right, we got the Tick. The Tick is always good. Is this from New England Comics? It is from New England
Yes.
Comics. Yes, yes. The Tick. Spoon. New stories. Oh no, come on. How you not going to pick that up? That's the one you get right there. There it is. Uh, Supermercado, Steven Universe crap. Let me see. Asterix. Yes, some very nice stuff. I love Asterix. The Loud House. More Steven Universe crap. No, thank you. Ooh. Hmm. Interesting.
Doom
Uh,
Patrol.
2000 AD.
2000 AD.
Nice,
Oh,
man.
nice.
Nice. All
Get
right.
your
But
free Judge Dredd.
is it going to be the actual trade? Like, because it's a big old thick book, right? I don't think it will
No,
be.
I think
32
I think it's
pages.
just
Yeah.
32 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. There's a lot to get on though, dude. 47, man. That's pretty cool. And they're really trying to have something for everybody. So that's nice, actually.
Yeah.
A little bit of
Yeah.
Blade Runner
Since it's free
there.
comic book day.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
smart, right? Horizon Zero Dawn, very popular video game. Actually, did pretty well. Let's see. Oh God, this is definitely Booster's thing. Where's Booster when you need him? Tokyo Pop. Oh, this is definitely up his alley. Street Fighter. All right, that could be cool. Dark One. I don't know, but the art looks interesting. Naruto, yeah, for the kids. The The Weird books. All right. Oh, this is kind of a kiddie looking thing. It might be fun. Defend Comics. All right. Guide to collecting. Oh, okay, that's a handy thing. Archie. Ooh, Riverdale. Do we really need that anymore? Oh, they changed Archie. I like the old Archie. Let me see here. Power Rangers. Vox Machina. Critical Role. Oh, it's from actual. Is it from Critical Role? I wonder. Must
Yeah, it
be.
probably is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his thing is right there. Sweet
Yep.
dude. Good on you, man. He's come up in the world, hasn't he? Another top secret DC. They don't want you to know what they're giving out. Whatever. Oh my God. My Little Pony, My Little Pony. The funny thing about the My Little Pony, and Richard Meyer pointed this out quite clearly, I think,
Hmm.
when several years ago when he started doing his thing. At that time, maybe so as well now, My Little Pony was actually one of the better written comics of that time. It seems to be oddly well written. So good on the My Little Pony fans and all those bronies out there. Oil yourself up and get that bridle in the mouth and get yourself a My Little Pony. Firepower. It's Kirkman, yeah. We talked about this. Yeah, yeah. X-Men, Secret One, Space Time, more some of this crap. Steven Universe art, I hate it. Jack Kirby, The Epic Lifetime of King of Comics. Oh my God. Let's see, Bloodshed. We're gonna be talking about Valiant here in a moment, actually. Let's see, to get through this Zelda might be fun, and that's it. Dude, there's
Yep.
some nice things in there, man.
It'll be
Absolutely.
interesting.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
interesting. And it has something for everybody too. And that's a good thing, right? That's actual
Yeah.
diversity. Yeah, it's actual
Right.
diversity.
Next,
So
he says Chester singing "My Little Pony" is more scary than Hellraiser.
right, right, right. I'll do a full rendition one day for you, I promise.
Yeah.
But let me see what the chat is saying here, and we'll leave it on this beautiful man. Look at that beautiful man.
Hmm.
Although Razorfist doesn't like him very much for some reason. I don't know why. Let me see here. Why kill Red Sonja though? Why not? Right? Marvel is releasing a Solomon Kane omnibus next year. That sounds good. Let me see. That's sad. Yeah, unfortunately. What the F? W2TF? Yeah, right. Rip Red Sonja. Red Sonja Ja looks terrible. Why? The a-holes. Yeah, no, well, they do what they do, man. Let me see here. They're in the process of making a Lady Mechanica show. Oh, sweet. Sweet. It's interesting. We talked about stealth yesterday, and Somali actually sent me a DM and explained it a little bit to me. It was a one-shot comic from 2014. So, you know how we talk about on this show, and other people like Archie Bear talks about this very clearly,
Hmm.
where we have a lot of these modern writers and artists, and all they're trying to do is get movie deals, TV show deals, and they literally
Yep.
put out one book and they get it. I mean, how sad is that? You have characters that have been around for decades and decades, and they get no love whatsoever, and someone puts out a single book and gets a deal. That kind of sucks,
Well,
although I am interested in it.
well, here's the rationale of it because they're looking at the future things with a lot of the existing properties. They have learned over the years that if there's a large rabbit fan base,
Hmm.
their words, that they'll have always this headache that, oh, this movie isn't, you know, like the comic book or blah 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 kind of deal.
Mm,
Whereas if they submit one issue or one book, then it's open and nobody can really complain and they can adapt it or twist it
true.
however they want without no complaint because it's
That's
a new
true.
property and nobody really cares.
That's a fair point. But it's a bit odd, I think. But I do love the premise for that stealth, though. That was pretty cool. Free comic book day, aka don't waste your time. Well, Nick, free comic book day is not for us, actually. Not at all. We buy what we want to buy. But if free comic book day can bring new people into comic books, I'm all for it, dude. And I know there's a bunch of woke stuff in there we just looked through, and a bunch of that stupid Steven Universe crap. But if that gets a kid reading a comic book, that's a good thing, man. More the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. And do keep in mind, we more middle of the road conservative type people, we want things to work out, right? We want things to be good. We're not here rooting for the failure of something, really. And occasionally, I guess it's true, but I want them to be successful. I want the Marvel to be selling a million issue copies again. I would love that, dude. Wouldn't you? Let me see.
Right, but
Yeah.
yeah, and that won't happen until they kind of reinvest and
Hmm.
reprioritize into good writers. I mean, they have already done it with artists, and I can say it's kind of questionable at some comics, but most for the most part, the art has improved. But they really need to focus on the writing aspect of that and find people that actually know how to do the craft. But
Yeah.
they won't because they're afraid that they'll create another Todd McFarlane or Alan Moore or etc.
Right.
And they'll go away and pull all those readership away because that's what happened. And now they're so aggressively against it that they're willing to lose money so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's bad business though. It's not
Yeah.
smart. Anyway, let's continue on here. Let's see. March Hare says, "Nah, the last time I got the tick on Free Comic Book Day, it was some Orange Man bad BS." Dude, no way, no way. Come on, really? The tick is so unpolitical. How could you make the tick political? Someone needs to be kicked square in the crotch, man. You don't do that to the tick. Not on my
You
watch.
know what I'm now thinking about it? A character with an orange hat and a floppy blonde hair called the Bad Orange Man. I am the Bad Orange Man.
Well, if it was done
I'm gonna make
satirically,
a
it could be funny,
huge,
actually, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Let's see. Ahoy, people. Got Tank Ferret in here saying hello to March.
yeah.
March Hare, awesome.
Right.
Let's see here. Let's see. March Hare, that sucks. It does suck, dude. Good God, what are you looking at? We're looking at the beautiful man that is Vin Diesel.
No,
Let's see here.
you were talking
Chester.
about when you were looking at the cow art
I know, I know.
stuff. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
the Cal Art stuff. Chester singing My Little Pony is more scary than Hellraiser. Sweet. Friendship is magic. Magic is heresy. Burn the heretic. Wow, Bloodshot. Yeah. He's got a movie coming out. It looks like the CG is so so, but it could be fun. I mean, Vin Diesel's usually fun. Let's see. Bloodshot is a good comic currently. Well, we're going to be talking about it in a minute. I'm going to jump over here in a second. I just want to kind of catch up with you guys. I always go just to support my local shop and buy something. I take a few grandkids with me. They have fun. Yeah, I know. You should do that. I mean, I think Free Comic Book Day is an awesome thing. And I support it, whether the books are good or not. Marcher says the good thing about the NCBD in my shop has a sale. I give the freebies out at Halloween. Yeah, that makes sense. And
yeah.
awesome. All right, let's come over here and keep getting into it because we do have a few more stories to get into here.
Right.
But this is just comedy, I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah, from the BBC News, the U.S. government lists fictional nation Wakanda as a trade partner.
Yeah, but they're
Um,
just having some fun, right?
no, no. What happened is that in the Florida Arc um, website for trades and everything, they accidentally put Wakanda as a free trade country.
Really,
Oh yeah,
it's not
yeah.
just somebody having a little fun, huh?
No, no, it's actually
Oh
yeah,
my.
well, yeah. I mean, they removed it, but it was for a moment. You had Wakanda. They acknowledged Wakanda as a real place.
That's too bad. It would have been much funnier if it was just some kind of little wink, wink type of joke, because I like it when governments do those kind of things. It shows they are happy and things are running well. This is just some idiot that made a mistake, I guess. But it's boy, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Wakanda. There's a lot of people who wish Wakanda was real, though, right?
Well, the U.S. government acknowledge it, so I guess somewhere in the world, somebody just needs to make a Wakanda nation, and it's legitimized because the U.S. government recognized it for a few moments.
hmm And is it East African? Now, I read all the Black Panther when I was young. I do believe it was more Central African, more toward the. It is East, I guess. It is East. It's east of Congo. Yeah, right. I'll take it. I don't know if that's the most accurate way to define it, but whatever. In that movie, this lady, what's this lady's name again? This is the Walking Dead lady. She's got hair for some reason. I didn't think she was supposed to have hair. But what's her name?
I can't remember to be honest.
She was okay. She was okay. She's much better in The Walking Dead, to be fair. But she was okay. And it's a bit weird, because in The Walking Dead, when they have her with her
Oh,
katana and she's, doing her thing, they have her stand in the right way, and it comes off fairly well, actually. But with her using the staff in Wakanda,
uh,
or of course Black Panther, I think it should be called Wakanda back. But she was kind of awkward, dude. It wasn't really good action for I was a bit surprised. I expected a little bit more from her, I guess.
yeah, no, 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 no. She wasn't in The Walking Dead. No, 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 no.
This is a
That's not
different
her.
lady. The
This is
Walking Dead lady was in the
the
movie.
Walking. No, you're thinking of Michael from STD. That's the Walking Dead lady.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No. God,
Yes,
no.
yes.
All right. Well, I know it's not true, but I don't. I'm too lazy to bother to check it. But this silly little thing here with Shirley, it could have been a cool character, but she's just this nasty, arrogant little thing, which I don't think was their intention. If that was the intention of the character, a character that you dislike, okay, fine, but I don't think that's what they wanted actually. But she came off horribly. She was just a mean, nasty thing, and of course, using that typical language of today, colonizer, colonizer, as if every nation in the history of the world has not colonized something at one point or another. Such a ridiculous thing, but yeah, she was just so annoying. And we're gonna get more of her. We saw her in the end game. God, I think we saw her in Infinity War too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. All right, American government, tighten up. Oh my goodness, dude. We
Yeah,
have to
from
cover
you.
this because we covered it from the beginning. So go ahead.
Right. So this is from you, Yahoo Entertainment. Allison Mack will serve a substantial amount of time in prison for her role in the sex cult, lawyer says. Based on the two guilty pleas that she agreed to, she's looking at 40 years
Hmm.
in prison for her actions.
Well, she
So,
was a bad girl, dude.
right,
She brought women into a dangerous situation and they got hurt. And
right.
this is completely deserved. It's just odd for me because we all know women very rarely get an actual punishment. They tend to get kind of slap on the wrist thing. It happens all the time. So the fact that she's actually being punished, probably for her crimes against women, how dare she? But
Yeah.
it's a good thing though. I mean, she should be punished. It was pretty horrible what she did. So it's good to see justice as having a little bit of effect here. But yeah, it is weird with that because you would think a woman would not use her powers of persuasion to hurt other women in a sexual way, right? You would think that that would kind of be a standard thing for women not to do, but it's actually quite the opposite. I was in the music industry for quite a while, and
Hmm.
groupies are a thing, a real thing
Yeah.
at all different levels too. It's not just the superstars. There's groupies at every level pretty much. And you see a lot of women that kind of will encourage the other women to do things that they probably wouldn't normally do. Drinking too much, showing their tits, that kind of stuff. It's harmless, really. It's not really, but then sometimes it's not harmless. Right, but it's interesting that women do that. For as much as we hear these days, everyone's screaming that R word left and right, which I know I'm not supposed to say it. I'll get yelled at if I say it. I can't say it. But
Hmm.
you would think they would care about it, but a lot of women don't care at all, dude. It's weird. It's a weird thing, you know?
I try not to think about it.
Well, I mean, that's what this article invokes, dude.
Yeah.
That's what she did. She
Well, I
she
mean,
helped
think
women to be
she
held
helped.
sexually assaulted. It's not good.
Yeah, sex slaves. And she
Hmm.
even was there participating in the branding of, the favorite ones as well,
Yeah, no,
which
yeah.
we talked about in the
It's
past.
complete mad stuff, and I'm glad she got punished. It's shocking, of
Yeah.
course, because she's from Smallville, as we all know. What character
Yep.
does she play again?
She played the quirky Chloe in
Yeah, that's right.
Smallville. Yeah.
That's right. But yep,
She also got the
sick.
actress of Lana involved in that cult for a while as
Did
well.
she? Then now that was a
Yeah,
hottie right there, dude.
yeah,
That was a
yeah,
super hottie. And it,
yeah.
it has nothing to do with the fact that she's half Asian. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Your words,
Don't
not mine.
look behind the curtain. But dude, shit, that Lana was a hottie, man. Come on now,
Mhm,
right? And
right.
it's funny because they put the partial Asian lady in the place because her name is Lana Lang. That
Yeah.
must be an Asian person. Had representation. Uh-huh. But she was a hottie, and I was very happy to see her. Anyway,
Mhm.
now this is my the news I've been waiting to get to actually because this is what I want to talk about. Now this is from Samali,
Sure.
and you know how he puts
Hmm.
up the solicitations, right? And
Right.
I want to go through it because you know what? I read Valiant back in the day, and then Valiant had a resurgence and then a desurgence because of their get wokeness. But I still kind of got my fingers crossed for them. I have hope and love in my heart for them. You know what I mean? So let's take a look at what they're doing here. This is from March 2020. I've got Man of War. I haven't read it in a while because it started getting boring. But this is Man of War number one. I don't understand what that means because we
They rebooted it, or they are restarting it, I guess. I
that
don't know.
sucks. You have it running well already, but I do like Man of War. It's fun. It's not my favorite though, but it is cool. We got Doctor Tomorrow. See, I don't know this character. You know this character?
Not at all.
No, I don't know this one. Well, that's cool. New character might be good, might not be. Hmm. I don't recognize any of the people involved though. We got Bloodshot. Bloodshot's a good comic. It's pretty interesting. We got that movie coming from Vin Diesel, of course. This is very much a kind of Wolverine take way back in the day when they created him. Quantum and Woody. I like this book quite a bit. I enjoy Quantum and Woody. It's fun. Although I think the Armstrong one is more fun, but this was fun. I like this. The Visitor, maybe I saw one thing on this. I don't know. Rye, I don't know. More Bloodshot, Roku. Yeah, see, I don't know all this. So they do have some new things going on, which is good. The problem is they kind of pushed me away, as with many people, because of their just silly politics, dude.
Well, I guess we better start reading Valiant and reviewing, seeing what
Yeah,
these
I
current
should
issues
do
are
it. I
about.
should do that. I should go catch
Yeah,
up and see what's going on with them. To be fair, I should do that.
yeah.
Just kind of looking at these things here. See, I don't know this character. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, it's like the past or something like that. Visitor. I know I've seen this before though. This is not new to me. This is fun though. I like this. I really like the Armstrong and what was it called? I can't remember the name of that one, but it had the pair, the team up. One was an immortal, the other one was like some superpowered humor or something like that. But I did like Valiant, so yeah, I'm gonna go check out and I'm gonna catch up and see what's going on with Valiant because I haven't read them in a couple of years because they started getting weird. But I will do that. I definitely will do that. And let me come over to see if the chat has any opinion on any of this stuff before we go into our last story. Let me see here. Oh dear, Chloe. You used to be wholesome. Clark would be so disappointed. Yeah, right, right. She has charisma, the charisma of a stump. uh, yeah, no, they're talking about Sudi, I think. Shudi. The Michonne character is in the Black Panther, but she isn't pictured. Okay, so it was another one. I know she was in it. Let me see
Mm.
here. Eric Hawkins, the girl in red is TGE, same actress who played as Michonne. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, they're disagreeing in here. The bald one is from Walking Dead. That's what I thought. Yeah, exactly in the movie. And I just was kind of disappointed because she moves pretty well in The Walking Dead, but she didn't. She was very awkward in that movie, unfortunately. And March Hare says no. Dinale, the lady that plays Michonne, was in Black Panther. Okay, they're disagreeing with you and they're pointing fingers and laughing. Okay. Let me see. Chloe Sullivan.
Okay.
No. I don't know who that lady is and never heard of her. Ew. Yeah. Well, you're too young to know
Chloe,
Smallville.
so yeah,
Nighthawk.
Yeah,
Lana was half
yeah.
Asian, huh? Never noticed. You noticed. You noticed. How is this different from porn or prostitution, dude? It's not. It's that's exactly the point, and that's why they're being punished because it's. I mean, the real horrible, nasty cult stuff. You know, there's plenty of cults, and most of them are just fine. They're not. They don't cause any trouble whatsoever, and it doesn't matter if they have a weird idea or not. Let them be. They're fine. But sometimes they're dangerous, and that's one of them. Let me see here. I didn't notice Lana's was half Asian. You lie. You most certainly noticed it. You all noticed it. You know what I'm saying. Kristen Crook was part of the cult and suggested Allison Mack join. Oh, really? Interesting. Oh. Archer and Armstrong. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I liked Archer and Armstrong, dude. That was a good book. I love that. It kind of had a Hercules type character, right? Running around. It was a lot of fun. I haven't read Valiant since the Image crossovers. Oh, there you go. It's been a long time. Yeah, well, I when they came out with the Resurgence, it was about 8 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. When they came back, I was like, "Ooh!" And I went and checked it out, and I followed it very closely. I read every book for years, but then it started getting not good. Anyway, I've caught up with that chat. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do our last story, guys. Do keep in mind that we are doing a show in an hour from now. Of course, we're doing Drone Recorded Ultimate Edition, and we're going to have some fun. Six Gun Gorilla should be fun. Go ahead, Denali.
All
Denali?
right. So, yep, right here. So, we're talking about video games. So, 2019 wasn't a bad year for video game, but it was sure a weird one.
You know,
So,
the commentary
let's
underneath
yeah.
this year, video games were very much in a holding pattern. I agree with that 100%. 100%. There wasn't much progress put forward. Matter of fact, there were some pretty bad back steps from the AAA guys, particularly. There were some interesting things. I have to see Anno, the new Anno came out 1800, and was it 1900, 1800? I can't remember. But that was really good.
Yeah.
There have been a couple of games that are really good, and there's a couple coming next year that look interesting. But it was a strange year for video games, and I 100% agree with this holding pattern comment. It's very true.
Well,
Um,
I mean, it makes sense because next year we're going to start getting the new console, so
yeah,
companies
that's
are
true.
kind of waiting for the new console to kind of double dip, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, very much. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order seems to be a good game. People are enjoying it, and understand that's a perfect storm situation with the Fallen Order, because EA was catching so much flack for their micro transactions and stuff and loot boxing everything. So much flack that we actually had politicians around the world wanting to get involved, which is usually not a good thing. The Star
Mm,
Wars Jedi Fallen Order is actually a really solid game because they couldn't do any of their nonsense. So it's a understand that don't expect this to be the future. It's kind of
yeah,
just a perfect situation, right?
right. This is was they were kind of forced to
Yeah,
do the game.
yeah. Of course, Call of Duty Modern Warfare had a lot of problems with the same thing with EA and some of these other companies like Bethesda and such. Of
Oh, I
course,
mean, don't
Battle
talk about
Royale was
how
everywhere, dude.
and this latest games that Bethesda has put out, Fallout 76.
Oh
Wow.
my, yeah, real
Yeah,
mess,
yeah,
real hot mess.
yeah, yeah.
Just basically a poor patch of Fallout 4 with all the nonsense because all the fans came in with their mods, and of course, Bethesda as well fixed a lot of that. And then what they do, they make Fallout 76 basically using the same stuff, but with none of the repairs. It's just, my goodness, dude. But Battle
Yeah.
Royale with stuff was huge this year. Everyone wants to have their own. I don't care for Battle Royale at all. But the kids seem to like it. The kids like it, so good on them. It's not real video gaming in my opinion. There's nothing to gain, but I'm just an old guy, I guess. But particularly with things like MMOs, this year was definitely a holding pattern for MMOs. But next year, I think is going to be interesting. We're going to get some good superhero stuff back. I think, and I think next year will be better. Of course, we have Outlands, which is that what it's called? I think it's called Outlands, which got very mixed reviews. Everyone loved Luigi's Mansion, but they always loved Luigi's Mansion. Of course, Kojima's Death Stranding was very controversial. Some
Yeah,
people praised it and love it. Other people just hated on that thing. And to be fair, it's just a walking simulator with a pretty interesting story on top of it. So it is what it is, I guess. Um, Let's see what else they talk about. Horizon Zero Dawn. But there was like a new one is coming out either this year or next year. I don't know. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. It was very popular. The online had a lot of trouble though. However, Gears 5 that just went under the radar. Mortal Kombat 2, but then again, Mortal
I don't
Kombat
know.
was just full of wokeness, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is kind of sad from where it began, where
yeah,
parents and political say this is not for kids. Don't play Mortal Kombat. Now it's like nobody wants to play
yeah.
Mortal Kombat if you pay them for, to do so.
Well, you had a couple
Outer
other
Worlds are
things
pretty
too.
cool.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, you have other stuff like Borderlands 3 came out and it tanked. And that's a huge product, right? Everyone loves
Mhm.
Borderlands. But once again, it was just ultra woke and it pissed people off. It's like the Wolfenstein, I guess it was a paid DLC, but that just pissed everyone off too because it's ultra woke. And we saw a lot of that nonsense this year, dude. And I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see more because we had Ubisoft as well was doing the same kind of nonsense. A lot of wokeness this year, a lot of wokeness in video games, and of course the video gamers don't stand for that crap. They have no tolerance for it. We know from GamerGate, and that got their hair up, and their hair's still up. So I don't know what these companies are doing. They're losing money. People are getting fired. So I guess eventually, of course, Last of Us Part Two is coming next year, but people are already upset about that because they've taken the main character who was this lovable character that was that was you wanted to protect because the male character is protecting her, and then they're just gonna take and make her this lesbian thing, and they're gonna woke her up. People are not happy. Cyberpunk 2077 I think is going to be awesome. The Avengers looks bad. It looks bad, and I'm hearing nothing but negative coming out of it, which is sad, dude. It's sad, and of course we'll get the new consoles next year as well with the SSD drives. Um,
Mhm.
we should talk about video games more here, dude. We're obviously video game people, and we
Yeah,
know a lot
absolutely.
about it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Then I'll put some more news about video games then.
yeah,
Because one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up wasn't just the holding pattern, but what's going on. Because really, we have Blizzard, and the whole China
mm,
fiasco,
hmm
and
hmm
that pro Hearthstone player being suspended
yep,
for voicing his you know his support for the Hong Kong protesters.
hmm
We have, like you said, the boxes and all the world's government trying to figure out what to do with the loot boxes. We have all these fiasco where a lot of companies are falling into disgrace because of their actions, which is kind of surprising how everything's been turning out on that. But
yeah, yeah, no. It's been a really weird year for many things. Of course, we saw, at the heart of it, we saw the Trump derangement syndrome come to its highest levels. Well, yesterday, I guess, with the this ridiculous impeachment, which has no validity at all. They didn't even care to try to really make some validity. They just said, "Screw it, we're impeaching him." But that's kind of the head of the Trump derangement syndrome, and it's caused a lot of companies to lose a lot of money and a lot of things to fail. And eventually they're going to learn because we're seeing a strong pushback. Right, Australia put in a conservative prime minister. England just put in Boris in a huge majority. I mean, and it's funny to me when you see all these screaming memes over in Britain every day. That's not my prime minister. I've heard that before, but and they're calling everyone stupid for voting for Boris. They're just nasty little things. And it's like you do realize nearly
mhm.
70% of all the voters in Britain voted for this. You were standing against nearly 70, but two-thirds of your nation, you are standing
Yeah.
and calling all them stupid and evil. That's what you're doing, right?
Well,
Uh,
they don't realize it's and just like what's going on right now, they don't realize how much they're shooting themselves in the foot and galvanizing everybody else against them. But
mhm,
they'll have the similar shock and awe when
yeah,
the 2020 election rolls out and
yeah.
they realize what happened, and all that stuff, and
Well,
it's going to be a even bigger landslide because as much as we don't like to admit it, what happens with Great Britain, we kind of tend to follow as well. So,
it's true. Now, somewhere on the 29th or 30th, somewhere in that period, which, oh, by the way, I don't know why I forgot to mention that, because next week, of course, we're off coming here after
mhm,
today. On the 24th, we don't have the Bugbear's Basement, but on the 31st, no, I should be fine in the morning. Yeah, that's no, no, it's actually my first though. Ooh, I don't know if I'll be
yeah,
able to do that one. I'll have to check my
yeah,
schedule. But the 29th or the 30th, we should do a wrap up show, a wrap up for
okay,
the year, and just kind of look at all
uh-huh.
those big things like video games, comic books. How did the year fare out for movies, video games, and comic books? We should take a look, because it's a weird year, dude. Very weird.
Yeah,
But I
it's a
think, but
transitional weir.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I think it bodes well for the future. Oddly,
yeah,
actually. But anyway, it is time to get out of here because I have to go set up for the
yeah,
next show, guys. I do
absolutely.
see Roger said I miss Crash Bandicoot. Well, they just came out with the Bandicoot, cart game, which we lost Booster to for like a freaking week. So you do have that. March here says, "Gotta go. Have a good one, everyone, and a Merry Christmas, applicable." Well, Merry Christmas to everybody, dude, and Happy New Year. And if actually
Mhm.
it's offensive to you for someone to say Merry Christmas, well, you're an asshole. So, that's the reality. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see you in an hour. So let me come over here and get myself set up, and we're going to let Denali do his thing, and he's going to take us out of here.
All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for joining us for this comics news today. Join us less than an hour for the Drawn and Quarter Ultimate Edition, where we're doing six guns Gorilla with their creators. It's always a lot of fun, and we'll be back. Maybe around the 30th or 29th, whenever. But as always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Later, guys.
Aloha.